If she wants to talk to you, she's usually giving signals long before she ever says a word, and most men miss them completely. The truth is, attraction doesn't always start with flirting. Sometimes it starts with curiosity. Sometimes it starts with comfort. And sometimes it starts with the tiny little things women do when they're hoping you'll notice them without making it obvious. Because here's what a lot of men get wrong. When a woman wants to talk to you, she usually won't make it painfully obvious right away. Not because she's playing games, but because women often test energy before they invest attention. She wants to feel safe. She wants to feel seen. And most importantly, she wants to know if you're socially aware enough to pick up what she's putting down. So if you've ever wondered, is she just being nice, or is she hoping I talk to her? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what signs to look for. And trust me, the last one is the one men almost always ignore. Let's get into it. 1. She keeps putting herself in your space. This is one of the biggest signs, and most men don't realize this. If a woman repeatedly ends up near you, not once but more than once, that's not always random. Maybe she chooses the seat near you. Maybe she lingers after a conversation should have ended. Maybe she somehow keeps appearing where you are at work, at the gym, at a party, in class, or even in a social setting where she has plenty of other places she could be. Now, does proximity always mean attraction? No. But here's what women actually notice. Being physically close creates opportunities without needing to be bold. A lot of women won't walk up and say, "Hey, I want to talk to you." Instead, they create little windows for you to make the move. For example, if she walks over to where you are and suddenly starts checking her phone, fixing something in her bag, or casually standing there longer than necessary, that's often not accidental. That's her silently saying, "If you want to talk to me, now's your chance." And if she keeps doing it, pay attention. Because women don't repeatedly place themselves near men they have zero interest in engaging with. 2. She makes eye contact. Then does something interesting. A lot of men think eye contact alone is the sign. Not exactly. Because women look at people all the time. What matters is what happens after the eye contact. Does she look at you, then quickly look away and smile? Does she look at you more than once? Does she catch your eye and then seem a little more aware of herself? That's where it gets interesting. When a woman wants to talk to you, she often uses eye contact as a soft invitation. It's a way of checking your energy without fully committing. She's basically asking, "Are you going to do anything with this?" And here's the psychology behind it. Women are often more subtle than men in social situations. So instead of approaching directly, they'll create a moment and wait to see if you can read it. If she looks at you once, that means nothing. If she looks at you, then looks again. Now that means something. Because repeated eye contact is rarely random, especially when it comes with a small smile, a softened expression, or a kind of "I noticed you noticing me" energy. That's not always flirting in the loud sense, but it is often an opening. 3. She finds little reasons to interact with you. This one is huge. If a woman wants to talk to you, she may create a tiny excuse to start something, even if the excuse itself is completely unimportant. She might ask a simple question she didn't really need help with. She might comment on something obvious. She might joke about the situation around you. She might ask for your opinion on something small. And on the surface, it can feel casual. But underneath it, it's often intentional. Because sometimes women don't start with flirting. They start with access. They want to see, are you easy to talk to? Are you awkward? Are you confident? Do you know how to hold a conversation? So if she says something like, "Is this seat taken? Have you tried this before? Why is this place always so crowded?" Or even something playful and random, don't only listen to the words. Watch the energy. Because if she didn't need to say anything, but she still chose you to say it to, that's often the real signal. 4. She gives you extra attention that she doesn't give everyone else. Now this one separates friendliness from actual interest. Watch how she treats you compared to how she treats everyone else. Because a woman who wants to talk to you will often give you a little extra focus, extra warmth, extra curiosity, extra responsiveness. Maybe she laughs harder at your jokes than she needs to. Maybe she asks follow-up questions instead of giving dry responses. Maybe she remembers little details you mentioned. Maybe her tone changes slightly when she speaks to you. And no, she doesn't have to be obsessed with you for this to matter. But here's what women actually notice when they like a man. They naturally become more tuned into him. That means she's more present, more alert, more emotionally available in the interaction. And this is where a lot of men miss the sign because they're looking for something dramatic. But attraction often doesn't look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like attention. And attention is one of the most underrated forms of interest. If she's investing mental energy into the conversation, that's not nothing. That's often the beginning of attraction. She seems slightly nervous, but still stays engaged. This one might surprise you. A woman wanting to talk to you doesn't always look confident. Sometimes it looks like the opposite. She might fidget a little. She might play with her hair. She might smile and then look away. She might say something and then laugh nervously. She might seem a little flustered for no clear reason. Now, obviously, nervousness alone doesn't automatically mean she likes you. But nervousness plus engagement is where it matters. Because if she's slightly anxious but still keeps talking, still stays near, still keeps the interaction going, that usually means she cares about how she's coming across to you. And people don't usually get self-conscious around someone they feel completely indifferent about. That's the key. If she's both a little shy and still trying to connect, that's often a very strong sign she wants the interaction. She's just hoping you make it easier for her. And honestly, that's where a lot of men win or lose. Because if you can stay calm, grounded, and socially smooth in that moment, you instantly become more attractive. Not because you used some trick, but because you made her feel comfortable. 6. She keeps the conversation alive instead of letting it die. This is one of the clearest signs of all. If a woman wants to talk to you, she won't just answer you. She'll help the conversation breathe. She'll ask something back. She'll add more than she has to. She'll keep the topic moving. She'll give you something to work with. That matters a lot. Because when women are uninterested, they usually make conversation shorter, flatter, and easier to end. But when they're interested, they participate. They build with you. For example, if you say, "Have you been here before?" And instead of just saying yeah, she says yeah, a couple times actually. "Their coffee is really good, but the service is kind of slow. Have you been here before?" That's not just politeness, that's cooperation. That's her saying, "I'm willing to keep this going." And if she's matching your energy or even adding more than you are, that's a strong sign she enjoys talking to you and wants more of it. Quick question before we get to the next one. Have you ever had a moment where you realized afterward that a woman was probably giving you signs but you missed them? If yes, comment "I missed it" below. Because trust me, you are definitely not the only one. And if you're still watching, the next point is one of the most powerful signs of all. 7. She gives you a reason to talk to her again. This is where it goes from maybe to pay attention. If a woman wants to talk to you, she often won't just enjoy the moment. She'll leave a door open for the next one. This can happen in subtle ways. She mentions something you could follow up on later. She says, "You'll have to tell me what you think." She brings up an event, a place, a shared interest, or something unfinished. She follows you on social media and engages first. She says goodbye in a way that feels more open than final. Why does this matter? Because women who are not interested usually close interactions. Women who are interested often leave them slightly unfinished. That unfinished feeling is intentional more often than men realize. It gives you a reason to come back, a reason to message, a reason to continue. And that's powerful. Because attraction isn't always about the first conversation. Sometimes it's about whether she made space for the second one. Final powerful point. She becomes more available when you're around. This is the one men almost always overlook. A woman who wants to talk to you often makes herself feel more available. Emotionally, physically, socially. She slows down when she could have rushed off. She stays in the area longer than necessary. She doesn't seem eager to escape. She keeps a warm, open vibe instead of closing herself off. And that matters because interest is often less about what she says and more about whether she creates room for connection. That's the real secret. Women usually don't just announce, "Hey, I want you to talk to me." They signal it through comfort, through openness, through repeated little invitations. And if you learn to read those small moments, you'll stop second-guessing yourself so much. Because most men don't fail because they're unattractive. They fail because they don't recognize when the opportunity is right in front of them. So the next time you're wondering if she wants to talk to you, don't just listen to her words. Watch her energy, Watch her effort. Watch whether she keeps giving you little chances to step in. That's usually where the truth is. And if you want more videos that help you understand women, attraction, and the signs most men completely miss, make sure you subscribe, because the more you understand these signals, the more confident and natural you become. And honestly, that changes everything.